We found out in the first quarter that Tesla put some of its money, some of its cash into Bitcoin, but we never really understood why. And we got a kind of an explanation during the earnings call from the CFO, and it's about cash management and this idea of they wanted to find a place they could get some return, but they could still have access to it maybe later this year when they face potential headwinds. You have to remember they're trying to bring on 2 new assembly plants this year, and the tradition at Tesla is those things are very painful to birth, so they might need that cash. Plus, there's also concerns out there about the microchip shortage in the automotive industry. So they want to have some of that cash available, but they also still want to have some returns there. So that's what they're telling us today.
Yeah, I guess Elon Musk getting into a little, I don't want to call it a spat, but replying to Barstool's Dave Portnoy on Twitter last night, basically suggesting they sold a bunch of Bitcoin to try to show that Bitcoin has ample liquidity to make it sort of, they stocked up on it because they want to use it. If you're gonna sell something in Bitcoin, you need to have it. It's like having change in your cash register drawer. You can't give people change if you don't have the cash. And that's what they're kind of saying about the Bitcoin sale. But I got to imagine, Tim, it's also kind of nice to have a pad. Tesla's always gotten beef for their environmental credits, right? It's like, well, no matter what you do, you can do this with the credits, you do that with the credits. Has crypto kind of become the same way, like a soothe for that balance sheet?
Well, you bring up this interesting point. For years, the problem for Tesla has been its cash, not having enough of it for all the expenses that come from being a car company and not really having its sea legs just yet. And it's been able to raise a lot of cash because of just the excitement in the market with investors. And so it's been able to do that cheaply in the last year or so. And then the question was, well, why are you using this cash for Bitcoin, right? Don't you need this for CapEx, for new factories, for a rainy day? And so that's been the criticism. We're seeing that criticism now, and we're also, as you point out, the way that a profit is made up this quarter with those regulatory credits, just a classic complaint from some investors that they're not making enough money off the sale of the actual vehicles.
Yeah, actual sale of cars. I mean, Tesla is I guess, a car company. It's a technology company. You ask 100 people, you might get 100 different answers. What are we seeing about the future for Tesla? I mean, a massive jump in car sales. Is this pace sustainable? Supply chain issues, production, constraints. You got all these other EVs coming on the market, Tim. Is there any sign that the Audi e-tron or the Rivian due out next year, or any of these other, Lucid Air, are they hitting Tesla at all, or is it still the dominant force in the electric car market?
It's still the company to beat in the EV space. We've seen some success in Europe with some competitors, but really Tesla's still out there ahead of most companies. And the challenge for this year, though, is continuing to be the execution, bringing those new factories online. We've seen that the Model S and the Model X, these are some of their older vehicles, long in the tooth. They're refreshing them. They didn't come out in the first quarter. They say they're going to start delivering in the second quarter. That was a $200 million hit because of that, the way it's playing out. And that's kind of illustrates the challenges they have on executing. If they're delayed at the end of the year with those new factories, that'll go forward into the next year and delay those plans. And Wall Street and investors are kind of counting on those sales to propel next year. Remember, Elon's projecting 50% growth into the future.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.